about a room in Manchester you've never been in being painted by some students who decided what they wanted on their own wall? How have you ended up being so manipulated that you think this matters?
It's not a case of being manipulated.
Oh, it is, Dave.
You're very, very clever, Mr. O'Brien.
No, I'm not, Dave. I just asked really simple questions, and I'm asking you one now. Why did you care about this wall?
Really simple questions.
Why did you care about this wall in Manchester? Why?
Because it's just the small thing that's going to go on to bigger things.
Well, like what, though, Dave?
Well, like taking down Winston Churchill's statues, like shutting down Winston Churchill's cafe.
When is that? No, Winston Churchill's cafe hasn't been shut down. Some silly people protested about it, and then other people can turn around and say,
right to feel they can do that?
Well, because you just said freedom of speech was important, Dave.
Yeah, freedom of speech is important. But
well, hang on, you just said what gives them the right to protest? The answer to the question is the thing you rang in to defend, freedom of speech, Dave.
I understand that, but...
Right. So why do you care? Because all I want you to do is not care. All I want you to do is let go of this bolus of anger that is inside you about some kids.
Because you have to care both ways. I would care if it was done, if it was something that was very, what do you call it? What's the word? Communism.
So you think there's two sides here? And you think that the anti-racists are allowed to paint their wall, but the racists wouldn't be allowed to put up their racist stuff. That's what you've ended up arguing.
Wouldn't even be allowed to open their mouth.
Oh, Dave, I thought you were going to deny that. So what you're cross about is the fact that you're not allowed to be racist in public, but you are allowed to be anti-racist.
No, not racist.
What then, mate?
Not even racist.
What then, mate?
Racism is just a word that gets bandied around.
No, it isn't just Dave, racism isn't just a word that gets bandied around. Racism is an ideology that teaches your ethnicity or your skin colour somehow defines your value. So, I mean, you might want to think...
ideologies, we'll be discussing the other one, which you would instantly discuss me and probably shut me down for being Islamophobic.
Well,
is a word that doesn't even exist.
So why have we gone there now, you see? So, I mean, I know this isn't your intention, but you are cross about a wall in Manchester being painted because you don't like Muslims. How has that happened, Dave?
I haven't mentioned Muslims.
Well, what's Islamophobia then?
Well, it's Islam. It's like
what do you call people that follow Islam?
Islamists. But if I was to say anything for or against that, I would be right.
So you're cross about a wall in Manchester being painted over a poem by Rudyard Kipling that you weren't previously aware of because you feel that you're not allowed to say vile things about Muslims.
You're not allowed to say anything about Muslims.
So you're agreeing with me then?
Anything.
That's why you're cross.
You're not allowed to say. You're not. Mate,
I am so grateful to you. I really am. I didn't think you'd be that honest.
I'm not saying you're condescending or patronising, Mr. O'Brien, but
mate, you can't. You can own condescending and patronising. They're just words. I'm happy to see you exercising your freedom of speech, but to come on national radio and say I'm cross about some students painting a wall in Manchester because I feel that I'm not allowed to say disgusting things about Muslims in public.
No, James.
That's incredible.
Out the word disgusting. You need to take out the word disgusting.
So what is it? What are the things you think you're not allowed to say then, Dave?
You're not allowed to say anything about.
Go on, say something that you think you're not allowed to say.
You're just trying to get me to say something that I really shouldn't say.
No, just say it, Dave. Say it, Dave. It's the only way you can prove it. You can say the thing you're not allowed to say, Dave.
This is starting to sound like it sounded like the Bill Grundy Sex Pistols interview. I'm not going to be coerced into saying something that I shouldn't.
You already have.
Really okay. All I want, honestly,
there's a room somewhere.
I wish everyone in the whole world could get on and there was peace.
Of course you do, Dave. Of course you do, but you want to say things about Muslims that you're not allowed to say. How does that make the world more peaceful?
Because you've taken it out of context.
I've repeated your own words back to you. You told me you're cross about some paint on a wall in Manchester because you feel that society would judge you unfairly if you said something horrible about Muslims. Not horrible, James. You can't say anything about Muslims.
I didn't say horrible.
So tell me the thing you can't say. What's the thing you can't say?
Okay, I think we leave it here, James.
Go on, Dave. No, seriously, what's the thing?
People who get my point.
What is the point, Dave? Say the thing you can't say, Dave.
I'm not going to, James.
Okay, but it's not horrible. It's not horrible in any way, shape, or form.
No, it's not.
And you're still cross about some paint. You're still cross about some paint on a wall in Manchester.
Because it's wrong.
Right.
In my day, that was called graffiti, and you would get, up against the school board for it.
The graffiti would be the poem that was put there in the first place, which you rang in to say should have been left there, and now you're making a case against graffiti. On a scale of 1 to 10, Dave, how well do you think this call has gone for you?
It's not about how it's gone for me. I don't
I
care.
think you'll find it is, pal. It's 11:47.
This is LBC.